Hello! So here's our next stop. We're in a cemetery. Now, before we go on any further, I'm going to discuss the person whose tombstone we're here to see. And I'm just going to say that maybe you might want to use a little bit of parental discretion on this because, well, he was a criminal and he did some pretty heinous things. Now, I'm not going to go into gory details, but in case you don't know who this person is, I kind of want to let you know who it is. So, 1957, it was discovered that this person had exhumed multiple bodies from the local cemetery, which happens to be the one that we are in, and proceeded to remove the skin from these bodies and make stuff with it, and bones too, like furniture, clothing, things like that. The person was also tried for killing 2 women. Obviously, he was found to be not mentally correct, and he was put in a mental hospital where, well, he was transferred to another one after a time period and was left there until he passed away in 1985. So the person that I'm referring to did these crimes in Plainfield, Wisconsin, which is where we are. We're in the Plainfield Cemetery. And his name was Ed Gein. There was a couple of movies that was loosely based off of him or partially based off of him. One was Psycho, and the other was Silence of the Lambs. Now, Silence of the Lambs also was based off of Gary Heidnik and Ted Bundy, and everybody knows who Ted Bundy is. But part of the story was also taken a little bit from Ed Gein's story. So this is Ed Gein's brother, who passed away, obviously, in 1944. This is his mother, who passed in 45. And his father, who passed in 40. It's said that after his mother had passed is when he began more of the crimes, and he actually wanted the skin in order to become his mother. I don't know. I mean, obviously the guy was not quite right. So this is where his tombstone was, is in this spot right here. And his tombstone, shortly after he was buried, was beginning to be chipped away by people. And I'm guessing so they could have a souvenir, possibly. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but whatever. So after a period of time, the tombstone came up missing, I believe in 1999. And they didn't know where it was. They didn't know who took it. And it was actually found a year later in Seattle. So it had to be like somebody passing through took it and probably sold it or something. You know how people do stuff like that. It is currently residing in a museum. And it's unknown whether or not they will ever replace this tombstone, but being that it's been 23 years since the other one was stolen, I'm gonna guess no. This was a pretty interesting stop for me because I really like to watch crime. It's just interesting to me. I can't quite fathom how certain brains work because
it's the psychology.
Yeah, it's the psychology of it. It's just like, wow, you know, because I never can imagine myself doing anything like that, and it's really hard for me to understand how anyone could. So any of these, like, you know, like the Ted Bundy stories, and you know, I mean, I've watched tons of those, and you know, Ed Gein is just, that's an interesting story. It's really interesting. You know, if you get a chance to sit down and watch a good documentary on him, it's something else. It really is. It gets way more gruesome than what I've told you. But hang on, don't go anywhere. This video is not over, and we are going to lighten the mood a little bit. Well, we didn't make it in time. This mausoleum is where Chris Farley is entombed, and we were going to come and see, well, his plaque, because I mean, that's all there is really. But if you don't know who Chris Farley is, he was a comedian, actor in several movies, probably best known for Tommy Boy. Somewhere inside there is where he is laid to rest. And when I said in the last segment of this video, you know, a little bit on the happier side, only because he brought a lot of joy to a lot of people, made a lot of people laugh, smile, cheered people up. People still absolutely love his movies. You know, probably a very famous Saturday Night Live skit was with him and Patrick Swayze. The Chippendales dance.
Yep.
And then there was the Black Sheep movie.
We got Black Sheep, Almost Heroes, Tommy Boy, Beverly Hills Ninja.
Yeah, he's a Farley fan.
Yes. Well, he's my generation's Jim Belushi.
Yeah, basically. Gone too soon. Do you remember the date? I can't remember the date.
No, not right offhand.
I know it was from an accidental drug overdose of cocaine and morphine. That would be the unhappy part about his life. Oh yeah, this he is actually in this mausoleum in Resurrection Cemetery in Madison, Wisconsin. So unfortunately, we did not get to see his name on the wall, but I mean, you know, we got to see where he's at in general. Okay, well, we're done here in Madison. We didn't really have anything else we wanted to check out. We're gonna head to our next spot,